Welcome back to Here's the Takeaway podcast. I'm your host, Kim Bindle, and today we are so thankful and excited to connect with our dear friend. You've seen her on our Facebook Lives helping us adopt our local pets, and we just love her dearly. Welcome to the podcast, Community Outreach Educator at Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control, Delaney Atkinson.
Hello, I'm so excited.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. I've known you for a while, but I don't think I've ever asked you this question. Is it cats or is it dogs for you?
So that is a very hard question, I will say. It started out earlier in life as dog, but now that I've worked with the shelter for a while now, I definitely think I'm leaning more towards cats.
Okay. And I guess being at the shelter, I'm thinking, do you have a lot of pets at home? Have you had a hard time saying no to some animals that have come through?
Absolutely. It's really hard to sometimes get those connections, and I just have to remind myself someone else will love you very dearly. I can love you right now while you're here with us, but because of working at the shelter, I have adopted 1 cat and 2 guinea pigs.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's not something people always hear, are the guinea pigs.
Right.
So I love educating about those as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I have a big, happy, furry family at home.
I love that. That's great. And we'll get to that here in just a minute. But before we get to that, I'm just curious, how did God lead you to this career path?
Yes. So when I was little, I was always drawn towards animals, and everyone around me knew, like, this girl's going to be with animals. Like, they just knew it. But then once I got into my senior year of high school, kind of transitioning into college, that big question is just looming over you of what do you want to do with your life? And I unfortunately kind of steered away from what God was pulling my heart at, which was animals. I said, you know what, maybe I should give other careers an option or look into that. And unfortunately, I got into a really low place in my life where I just felt hopeless. Like, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. But thankfully, one time I was driving home. I lived in Garrett at the time. So I was driving home from a job interview in Fort Wayne, and I happened to pass this big brown building, and there was a fence out in the yard that said Pooch Playground. And so I was immediately drawn towards that. I go home, I Google Pooch Playground because I had no idea what else to look up. And it came up Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control. And surprisingly, only living 30 minutes from there, I've never heard of this shelter before.
Okay.
And just God told me, he put it on my heart, you need to volunteer there. Because I was fresh into college, I had this free time. And so I looked up any volunteering opportunities and applied. And that's kind of history. It was such an answered prayer because I just felt so lost and I just didn't know what to do. And then that truly changed the trajectory of my life.
Right. And I think you are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Thank
because
you so much.
Through the years, you've been here with us and brought some of the sweetest animals that needed adoption. And so we just love the relationship that we have with Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control and with you.
Yes,
and I'm curious as far as that volunteering, it really is like you came in and worked from the ground up and seeing all the different sides to working there and being a part of that. So you're very familiar of what it means to volunteer there. Yeah. So what are some of the options for friends who have, nothing to do this summer and are like, I want to do something. That sounds like fun. Right. What are some options for them?
Yes. So a big part of my job is helping run our humane education programs, which is such a blessing in itself because I'm exposed to so many different ages and walks of life from 5 to even 18 years old. So I love to educate about different ways that children can get involved at the shelter. So in the summer, we actually have our Pet Explorers summer camp, which is so much fun. And we've been doing that since 2018. My actual first day of work was the first day of summer camp in 2019, and that just kind of kick-started the journey of the shelter.
Kind of a baptism by fire.
Yeah, yes, it really, my boss at the time was like, if you can get through summer camp, you can get through anything here.
Wow.
Just because it's so much, it's so busy. The kids are just excited and full of joy, and animals, you're just throwing everything together. So if anyone listening has children that love animals, which I know is a super common passion, definitely I would recommend our summer camps. And we also have positions for teenagers that can help be camp counselors, or what we like to call our teen buddies.
Yes.
So that is where I got to know Colton a lot more, and he is just amazing at that role.
Well, he's excited this summer because he's going to get to be involved with that. He's been doing that for the last 2 summers. And he did it during spring break last year. And so what I love so much about it is it really is a fully loaded camp as far as kids getting to do things that are interactive, but also in, your area of expertise, educational in teaching children and teenagers and some adults how important it is to care for animals, to protect animals. One of the fun things, and I don't know if you guys are going to do this again, that Colton mentioned was having the wildlife people come in and bring some wild animals that are being rehabilitated, and just to kind of have all the different angles covered.
Yeah. That's a big goal of ours too, is to bring all the different varieties to the shelter too, because not only are we educating on just pet care and pet responsibility, but we also like to educate on different careers also that kids could think about. So yes, we have wildlife that is able to come in, we have therapy dogs, and it's just a lot of fun making our day, each day special and different, and just opening and broadening the horizons of kids, because I don't know about you, but a lot of people think of, veterinarian is the first thing they think of when they think of a career. So we're really excited to just educate on different options as well.
Like working at the zoo, because we've got a great zoo here too, right?
It's amazing.
So when you think about all the great things that you are doing, I know beyond the summer, we get into fall. And what are some of the fun things? I know there's that week where or it's not a week, it's probably a day or 2 of dressing up your pet.
Yes.
And what is that again?
It's a mouthful. It's called our Howl-O-Walk-O-Ween.
I'm glad you said that, right?
Right. I have gotten it engraved in my brain at this point. But that is actually a fundraiser for our humane education programs, because it is fully ran off of donations from the community or grant awards to provide those youth programs. So yes, it's a Halloween themed event. People get to bring their dogs in costumes, but also we've seen people bring cats. I have witnessed a turtle in a costume before.
That's great.
So as long as your pet is comfortable with a crowd, it is a very fun event.
Right.
And it's family friendly. So we love seeing family come and just have a fun time together. It's
a great event for fundraising for you guys, but also for the community, because, people love their pets. They're not pets. They're members of the family, right? Is there anything else coming up in the fall that I'm missing, that I'm not thinking of beyond that?
I can't think of anything at the moment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. I know that there was that event that we had for the fundraiser, the silent auction.
Yeah. Every year we kind of do different things.
Okay.
So it just depends. But as of right now, it's just the Howl-O-Walk.
And you guys keep that posted at your website.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about the adoption process and how important it is. I mean, to get your family the right pet that's accepting of your environment and maybe other pets. Kind of walk through that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our listeners that may not know, Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control is an open access shelter. So that means we legally cannot turn away any animal that comes to us from Allen County. So we are experiencing a lot of different varieties of animals, different personalities, and we do not take that lightly. Our adoption team is amazing at evaluating those animals, to making sure that they're going to the best matches, and that the families kind of know what they're getting into as well. Right? Because we don't want to just, here's your new pet, good luck. Like, we want to make sure that they know we're here for them after the fact, and we really want to be supportive for them. So it is a big adjustment too. You know, a lot of people already might have pets at home, so making sure that they know how to properly integrate them into the home without stressing too much. And
it's an adjustment, but to try to kind of help in that way so they don't end up back.
So, and we also, like, if people want to adopt a dog, we do dog meet and greets at the shelter, because dogs are really good at letting us know right away, like, oh, this is a friend, or I don't like this dog. So our potential adopters are usually really good at understanding that process, and they want to make sure that everyone at home is happy too. And just we also have, you know, guinea pigs, rabbits, small animals. Those are considered exotic animals, so we are also very sure to make sure that they understand the specific care that they need and the additional fees that might come with that. They have to take those kinds of animals to an exotics vet, so that might cost more. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it is such a great honor to witness those happy endings and those animals going home. And a part that I love a lot about my job is I get to see the updates come through social media. So that is extremely heartwarming. And then spreading that to all of our staff members just is a really big reminder of why we are here at our job. And it's just, very heartwarming.
It's an incredible organization. You go to visit, which I encourage you to go visit and see the pets. There are specific times when they're open and when they're closed. But just the environment in there is so warm and welcoming. And I love that you have this acceptance for pets. We've seen, I guess it was last winter, and it was just heartbreaking, where people didn't realize or know, I guess. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. They dropped off a litter of puppies without someone being at the center, and that's not a good thing. That is against the law. So talk about that as far as, yes, you accept them, but there is a process.
So we do have, you know, those policies in place to make sure that animals are staying safe. So we, of course, want you to feel comfortable to approach us. I know sometimes people might be weary of asking us for help because they might have preconceived notions or have heard maybe things in the past that aren't true. So we want to make sure that people are aware that we are a non-judgmental place. We want to help you, and we understand that life happens, and sometimes that means that they can no longer take care of their pet, whatever the reason may be. So we are here to talk with you and give you those resources, because there are amazing resources in Fort Wayne, such as free pet food, low-cost spay and neuter, wellness options. So if that's a barrier, we're here to help. And if, you know, surrendering your pet is the decision that is happening, we have surrender appointments. But if there is safety involved, like let's say a dog at home they don't feel safe with anymore, we would consider that an emergency, and you can bring that animal in to us. And there is not a fee to surrender your pet if you're in Allen County. So I definitely want to educate that as well, because people might think that it's, a big fee to bring your pet in. But yes, please just do the right thing and let us know, because you are people that do put the animals outside.
They're in danger.
They are in danger. And we're glad, at least, you know, thinking positively, at least they're at our building, but it's still unfortunately illegal, and it's still unsafe for that animal.
Such a great organization. I mean, all the way around. And you're so good to help us learn as we go here. If someone wanted to go ahead and adopt a family pet, so do they set an appointment, or do they just come in? What are some of those, you know, steps to be taking? Like someone saying, "Oh, I definitely want to get a pet. How do I do this?"
So our adoption process, we try to limit those walls, those barriers. So it is a walk-in process. So our adoption hours are from noon to 5:30 or sometimes until 6. That, of course, can all be found on our website. But so you would walk in, you would fill out an application, and then depending on how busy it is, we can usually get to you within, 10 to 30 minutes. And then if you are approved, then you get to meet the animal that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Now, we do have adoption staff and volunteer counselors that help guide you to more of what you're looking for. So they're going to ask those questions about your lifestyle. And, sometimes we have animals that don't do well with children, so we would steer people away from specific animals depending on their lifestyle.
Right.
And then if, someone falls in love with an animal, you're able to take your animal home that same day. We would just go through, all of the boring stuff, the contracts and that kind of stuff.
This is how you care for this wonderful breathing creature, right?
Yes. Yeah. So when someone's bringing a new pet home, it can seem like a routine for us to kind of go through that through our day, but it's really great to stop and think, this person may not ever be here again. This is their only time adopting, they might move away. So we have this one chance to make that impression.
Yes.
And to make it a special experience for them. So that's a great honor as well to see that happen in our adoption area almost daily.
Yes. I mean, the crew is just amazing there and so loving. Everything you're saying, I mean, Colton and I had the opportunity to go in there, and as we were mentioning earlier, the whole camp thing, there's so many wonderful things that come up throughout the year that you all are involved in that we can be a part of as a community to help just continue the care of these precious creatures that God's entrusted us with. And whether that's actually adopting or whether that's supporting Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control or volunteering, so many great opportunities. What is the best way for people to get signed up to either have their kids go to camp this summer or for teenagers to volunteer to be camp buddies or volunteer in general? Where do they need to go to get all that?
Yes, so the best place to go is our website, which is fwacc.org. And that'll bring you to all of our different tabs. So if you're more looking for youth programs for children, we have a youth programs tab, and that'll explain all of our different opportunities. We have a lot going on. There's typically always something going on every single month. And then if you have teenagers at home, we have a monthly program called Animal Care Teens Volunteering, and that would be registered through our website as well. And then if you're an adult interested in volunteering and making that commitment, we do ask for at least the 3 months commitment just because there's training involved and all of that.
The investment of time, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. So we have an application on our website as well. So definitely find all of those links on that website, and we would love to, kind of get started from there. You won't regret it. It's an amazing time. I have loved being a part of this organization for almost 8 years. It's just been life-changing. So I love seeing that happen to other people as well.
I love the relationship that we have with you here at WBCL. It's so been, sweet to be able for you to bring the pets in for everybody to see them on Facebook Live and then adopt and take home their forever furry friend. It's such a sweet thing. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being able to talk about my passion and how God has brought that into my life, and it's just been such a blessing. I've loved getting to know the team here. You all are such a light and such an amazing part of Fort Wayne and just everyone's lives. So, thank you so much for having me and allowing me the opportunity to talk about my story and how I work at Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control and strive to make a difference.
You definitely do, without a doubt. So if you are looking for a fur friend, a cutie pie to be a member of your family, Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control is your place. They're going to give you all the education that you need to help you make the best decision for your family. Thank you again, Delaney, for being here. We'll give you the information here on the screen on how to connect with her. Thanks for being here. Have a great day.